Welcome to another Wild Women Symposium interview. And today we have Norianna Diesel, who is going to be teaching a class on the Embodied Woman, a Somatic Experience at the Wild Women Symposium, which will be in the spring of 2015. So hi, Norianna, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing super well, thank you.
So tell us about you and tell us about your work and all the amazing things that you're doing all through the Utah Valley area and Salt Lake Valley area.
Cool. Yes, I would love to. So, my name is Norianna, like you introduced me, and I am currently a licensed massage therapist, a registered somatic movement educator, and a registered yoga teacher. And I currently live in Ogden, which is about 45 minutes north of Salt Lake City, and we moved here in about July. And since moving here, I've really been able to establish my own home practice and start teaching yoga a bit more and really start to dial in my own offering to the world and start to do more workshops. And it's just interesting switching locations for me and just being able to be more grounded here in Ogden and really devote all of my time to my passion and my love. And so my partner and I, we have many businesses that we're starting together, one of them called Alchemical Essentials. So between starting new businesses and teaching and creating workshops and having my private practice, I stay pretty busy.
It sounds like it. So now at the Wild Women Symposium, you're going to be teaching this class on having somatic experiences. So what is that?
So what is somatics? Great question. So this is, for me personally, I think the upcoming field that will really shift. It's, I think, the new yoga. It's the upcoming field that will really start to shift how we have a human experience here on Earth. So what is somatics? Somatics comes from the Greek word somatikos, which means living aware bodily person. And basically, it's a field of study that brings awareness into the physical body experience in the here and now. And in the field of somatics, there's a lot of different modalities that use different techniques and visualizations, exercises, different things, different methods to bring that awareness rooted into the body. So, for example, there are techniques called Feldenkrais method, the Alexander technique, continuum, body-mind centering, Shin somatics, that's where I studied, Hana somatics. So there's all of these different pioneers in this field that have created their own offering and their own take on this work. And it's amazing work to really help start to bring people out of pain, bring people a lot of times out of trauma. The work that Peter Levine does with somatic experiencing, amazing, amazing. And just, I mean, he talks about the whole fight, flight, or freeze response. And a lot of times in trauma or accidents, what happens is our body never really gets a chance to release all of that extra excess energy, say when we've been hit by a car. And so the nervous system and the body actually stores all of that energy. And if that goes on for too long, then we start to experience PTSD or just other traumatic symptoms or emotional instability or whatever it is. And so just in his work, just shaking, and like actually like what they do in the wild is animals after a big chase, they'll shake it all off. And just these little things are so key in our lives as these electromagnetic human machines that we are, in order to keep balance and stability and health in our body. We really need to start looking at ourselves from a more somatic approach and being able to just really start to understand our posture and our bodies and start to see what our bodies and spirit have to teach us through these vessels.
That's great. I mean, that's one of the things the Wild Women Symposium is completely about, embodied practices, and the somatic practice is one of those embodied movement practices. I remember when I was working with John Upledger with the Upledger Institute, and he had a great phrase. He said, "Your body remembers where it is in time, space, and gravity." And so when you've been in an accident or you've experienced a trauma, can be like going through a windshield, but trauma can also be being hit with negativity or being hit with negative thoughts. And then if you believe those thoughts, they get kind of lodged in your body and they get stuck. And that you have to kind of get the body into the right position so that it can actually, how the energy went in, you have to release it in the same way that it went in. So it's like in the reverse direction. And so the art of embodied practice is like, how do we release these things in our body? And I think that, like you said, this is the trend. And we've been seeing this trend coming on slowly for a long time. It started with the whole rebirthing movement and the connected breath therapy movements, and then all the old yogic movement systems also were related to this on a lot of levels. And it's like practices about how to be in your body. And I think as Americans, we get so much in our head, and we forget that we have a body and that there are incredible, there's wisdom in the body. There's wisdom, there's clarity, there's awareness in the body, that it's not just in your mind. And when you deny the body, it gets stuck and it gets more dense and it gets more stagnant and it gets more resistant, and you don't eat well, and all these other things start happening because your body is screaming at you, trying to get you to pay attention to what is in denial. And, so in the Wild Women Symposium and in your class, and one of the reasons we picked you for this class was to be able to give that opportunity for women to start doing that release type of work. So I'm really excited about it. So tell us about your class.
Yeah, well, I just loved what you just said, because, yes, all of it resonates. And just to kind of go into that a little bit deeper, the importance of this embodied work is just phenomenal. And I mean, everything has a repercussion, right? And so just like you just said, a lot of times we're just so unaware of what's happening below this area, and because of that, we're making perhaps not the best decisions for the body and not being informed by the body, or what do I actually need nutrition-wise right here, right now. So yeah, it's just amazing how everything ties in that way. So my class at the Wild Women Symposium will be a very fun, explorational experience where we're really going to work with the body, and in obviously a somatic way, and bringing our awareness into the body here presently. So this work can be a little tricky to explain, also because the way that I teach this type of work is very much so in the moment. I have so many tools from all my years of dance training and somatic training and even massage training, just all of these tools in my toolbox. So I'll probably have an outline and an idea of what we're going to do, but mostly I'm there present, holding space and facilitating to the energy of the room and to where people are at and gauging, and it's this whole beautiful dance that ends up happening. So what will we be doing? This kind of work is really fun because I'll give you a few examples. For example, we might be walking around the room, taking in the different colors of the room, perhaps noticing how our feet are making contact with the floor, perhaps then eye gazing with one another, and just paying attention to every different exercise, how it's making us feel internally. Perhaps then we'll stop and move down to the floor and do some sort of moving meditation down on the floor. And then I'll probably throw some contact improv fundamentals in there, where we just explore how do we maintain our center within contact with another human being, and how can we give equal weight from both sides so that not one person pushes more than the other. And all of these exercises can really teach us a whole lot about how we show up in the world and how we're in relationship with other people in the world and what our tendencies are. And so I really like to give exercises and to facilitate a journey where there's time for space for sharing verbally and to reflect either with the partner or with the group, so that we can really start to bring in these gold nuggets of somatic experience and start to relate it to how we exist in the world. And so my hope is, and my intention is, that people walk away from this workshop really understanding something new about themselves, perhaps even have found an edge, an emotional edge or a physical edge, something. I'm sure, I mean, just the nature of this work tends to bring up edges for people, unless you're a professional dancer, and we've done this a lot, you know. But even then, dancers are trained in this kind of vulnerable, body-centered way. So my hope is that if there are edges, that they can start to be softened, and that we can really start to build a community within this class and this group, and walk away feeling like, wow, I just learned something really valuable, and I really was able to reconnect with my body, and I was able to witness other people doing the same thing, and it's okay to be vulnerable in this environment, and it's okay to be seen, because all of us are unique, and all of us have had our troubles and our triumphs and all of our baggage. Like, we all have it. We're all human. And so this class is really about being able to celebrate our humanness, and to be vulnerable in our humanness, and to see each other in the humanness. And yeah, it's going to be good. So I'm excited, super honored, super excited to be able to share this work with the world. It's something I'm so deeply passionate about, and it's my greatest honor to be able to witness people in the blossoming of this somatic experience. And I'm really excited that it will only be women, because that also creates a safer container just by nature of all of us being women. And yeah, so it's super humbling to be able to watch. And
well, I think that women are so informed by other women, and I think that I remember, you know, being in workshops and seeing a woman have a breakthrough, and literally in my 20s thinking, oh my gosh, you know, you can do that. You can actually do that. Like, seeing another woman go someplace emotionally that you haven't gone instantly gives you permission to go there. And, you know, the Wild Women Symposium is an event which is really about that flow of the divine feminine. And the flow is a little bit chaotic. And so all the sacred tools that open women are spontaneous, they're intuitive, they're energetic. And so that the people that are going to come to your class, I want them to know that what they bring to the mix is what is going to be part of the matrix that is going to be co-created, because I believe that groups come together for a reason, to share certain experiences or to grow from certain experiences. And so I challenge all these wonderful women out there to say, hey, don't be afraid to not bring your stuff to the class, because you'll find that maybe your experience in the class is the thing that ignites the whole room, and the whole room has a release and takes the whole room deeper than you thought it was going to go. And so you, as a facilitator, your job is actually to allow the flow to follow the divine feminine, and then to move with it and to facilitate that opening with whatever is happening. And that's also why I think it's hard to explain these things.
Totally. But you hit it right on the head.
Well, wonderful. Well, we're really excited that you're going to be teaching at the Wild Women Symposium, and everyone can go to www.wildwomensymposium.com, and there is an Eventbrite link that you can go to and buy tickets right now. You can also see all the different interviews with all the different facilitators, and one of the reasons that we do these interviews is so that you can actually get to know the teachers and feel their energy and feel what you're going to be interested in, and even sign up for certain classes beforehand. So thank you, Norianna, for a great interview today.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. Looking forward to it.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.